All right, welcome everybody back to MMA Ventures. Today we're going to be going over Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns. A little bit of a disappointing fight card. I mean, depends on how you look at it. Just a lot of long decisions, drawn out decisions until the main event, obviously. But let's get into this one right here. Julian Marquez versus Maki Patola. This was the best fight of the night. It was the first fight on the card. I did mention that Maki Patola was kind of like a sacrificial lamb kind of for Julian Marquez, try to get his name out there and give him a victory, but it was not like that at all. McKee doing what he was supposed to do when you're fighting somebody who is coming off a 2-year layoff, just go straight at him. Don't let him get into the rhythm. Don't let him get any sort of rhythm. Just go at him right away. And that's exactly what McKee did. Um, put on a great performance. Every single one of his fights has been a great performance since he's gotten into the UFC. I hope this isn't the last we see of him because I do feel like he has a lot of potential. Julian Marquez, what a character this guy is. Very cool guy. Very down to earth, and yeah, just came out with that crazy submission, the anaconda choke. I believe it was an anaconda choke. At the last minute. Does he win the fight if he doesn't get that choke? It's possible. I'm not gonna say yes or no, but it's possible. Next up, you had Ricky Simone versus Brian Kelleher. Kelleher, Ricky Simone just dominated, just grappled him, just took him down at will, and just beat him up. Really, same as the McKee Patola. I don't want to see Brian go anywhere. He always goes out and puts on a show and really tries to bring it to his opponents, but he doesn't always come out on top. This was, I believe, a catch weight of 140, so you know Ricky Simone looked dominant, looked really good. I'm excited to see him uh, move up in the ranking and see who he could fight next. I believe he lost to Uriah Faber in Faber's return fight to the UFC. So would like to see him get back in there with some high level competition to see how he does. Him and Aljamain were kind of jabbing at one another uh, over on Twitter. But yeah, Brian Kelleher, would love to see him stay in the UFC, but just a dominant performance by Ricky Simone. So next up, you had Kelvin Gastelum and Ian Heinisch. Another one of those fights where it's like Ian just did not live in it, and it was just Kelvin just taking him down whenever he felt like it. And I don't know, I felt like it was kind of do or die for Kelvin. I mean, I feel like even if he would have lost this fight, he would not have gotten cut or anything, but it would really damage his name and everything that he stands for. So I do think that it was kind of a do or die situation in the sense of like him getting another top 10 opponent. Because I feel like if he would have lost to Ian, they probably would have swapped rankings. That would make sense. And then, you have Kelvin's going to have to fight his way up. He might have to fight somebody outside the top 15 a few times before he gets another shot. Because that would be 4 losses in a row. And nobody wants to lose 4 times in a row ever. But I mean, a close fight on paper if you just look up at the striking totals, but just the takedowns, the ground control, all that. Um, you know, just Kelvin clearly won the fight. Not the most entertaining fight, but a very good one nonetheless. Next was Macy Barber and Alexa Grosso. A very good fight as well. Grosso really showed that she is a threat at 125. I believe that was her first fight at 125. I think that's what they were saying. I don't really know. And then obviously Macy Barber is young, 22. She put a lot of pressure on herself to try to be the next superstar, but like slow it down. You got a lot of time to go. So I would love to see her just go regroup, maybe take a year off, rejuvenate her career. I know she just came off a long layoff because of the ACL tear. Um, but just take some time, really relax, get your mind state, get your priorities. What do you really want from this? You know what I mean? That's what she needs to really look at. And Grosso just moves straight up, a lot of fun fights for her at 125. She called the Mexican Ronda Rousey. I mean, I don't really see it, or the Ronda Rousey of Mexico, I believe. I haven't really seen it. I honestly, I don't watch a lot of her fights. I'm gonna look into it a little bit more, and I'll give you guys a better understanding of what I understand of her. So yeah, that was it for the co-main event. Like I said, not too many crazy, fights until we got to the main event. And it was Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns. Now, what a good fight. The first round, I was like, the first round, Gilbert won clearly. And I was like, oh man, is this gonna be like this is what was happening during training the whole time. But I also feel like Kamaru knew that Gilbert was gonna get overzealous, over aggressive, and end up blowing his wad out. I feel like that's what kind of happened. I also feel when Gilbert dropped him in the first round, and then Kamaru dropped him with the leg kicks, he should have capitalized. He should have just got straight up because he was just sitting there like, come on, come on. But he knew Kamaru didn't want to go on the ground with him. So a little bit of a mistake by Gilbert there. Um, yeah, I mean, now they're talking about doing Kamaru versus Masvidal again, which I mean, it's kind of like a reward for Masvidal for taking that fight on the 8 days or 9 days notice. I think it was 6 days, but he probably knew that he was going to Vegas and all that way before 6 days. So regardless, I feel like that's what they're kind of doing. They're like, hey, you know what? Thank you for saving that event. Now we're gonna give you a full camp to try to fight Kamaru Usman. I don't think the fight is any different. I think the only threat for Kamaru right now is Colby Covington. Um, but yeah, I'm very indifferent about Kamaru because I feel like he's so dominant that it's like it feels like he's never really been tested, and this was the only time he really had been tested. I mean, he got rocked in the first round, so I mean, I- I'm excited to watch Kamaru's next fight, regardless of who it's against. They're talking about the Masvidal and him are going to be on the Ultimate Fighter. That'd be awesome. That'd be a fun one. Um, Even though they were like best friends after their fight, but well, I ain't judging, man. Do your thing, sell your pay-per-views. Um, but yeah, Bobby Green and Jim Miller fell out. Hopefully all is well with Bobby Green. Um, but yeah, man, not a very eventful card. I mean, a lot of good performances all around, like Anthony Hernandez, crazy, crazy. I knew he was going for the submission because he could have knocked him out in the first round, and he could have knocked him out early in the second round, but he was just going for that submission just to prove a point. Bilal Muhammad just dominated Diego Lima. Um, Pollyanna, she great submission. Crazy that she was an underdog. I mean, you know, what do the odds makers really know? It's MMA at the end of the day. And then Andre Ewell just got dominated by Chris Gutierrez. He ruined my parlay. So my parlay this week was Ewell. I would have lost anyways. I believe I had Ewell. What did I have? Gilbert. Diego. I had Diego, and then one other fight. Oh, and then I think Macy Barber. So my parlay was trash no matter what. But it was $20 to win 1,600. You can't not take those odds. You know what I mean? And this fight was really confusing because Philip Rowe was wearing green shorts, but Gabriel Green was in black shorts. It was confusing when I was watching. I was tweeting about it, and I was tweeting good kicks by Rowe, but he was getting kicked, so it was all over the place. But um, not a crazy eventful card. We're gonna go over Curtis Blades and Derek Lewis next, and then I'm gonna kind of do a what's next, like a little matchmaker as a filler for the week. So probably Wednesday you'll see the matchmaker, what's next for each one of the winners and possibly the losers. It just depends um if I have enough information about it. But yeah, so more than likely you're gonna have a what's next for the winners of UFC 258, and then we're gonna also go over Curtis Blades versus Derek Lewis. But anyway, thank you guys all so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, all that cool stuff, and that's it, man. Peace.